Action. Okay, guys. Hello, guys. My name is Israel Silva, your gracious host. Welcome to the Agave Hour podcast. We are live from Agave Studios here in the 956. Let me say now that if you enjoy what is being brought to you, please like, subscribe, and share. This will help us gain some traction and grow our audience a little bit faster. We're still working on getting the podcast info out there on social media. So if you guys, if some of what you guys may see today might not be exactly the same with our headings and things like that, but it is called the Agave Hour podcast. So we appreciate you guys chiming in. The general theme of the Agave Hour podcast is to bring to light many of the wonderful people of the 956. That's part of what we want to do. Whether they're entrepreneurs, educators, philanthropists, artists, sports figures, actors, politicians, or heroes of all types. We all know that, and I've always said that not all heroes wear capes. Maybe it's a teacher, a professor, a coach, or someone that has impacted our lives, or the lives of many at some time in our past. I think that's important, that we do that. So if you know someone out there that has an interesting or intriguing story, please let us know. Send us a message, send us their contact info, or feel free to pass on our info to them. The reason for wanting to make the Agave Hour podcast live is to try to get some interjection from the audience, a basic Q&A, if I may say. Sometimes we are going to record it, of course, and put it on at a later date, depending on times. Of course, we want to keep it clean, want to keep it professional without any gotcha moments to our guests. But we primarily want to make it fun and friendly, as if we're having a casual conversation with not just our guests, but with the audience as well. So that'll be one segment. Additional to our local guests, we'll also introduce someone at a national level that we can potentially learn from, laugh with, or cry with as well. Researching for the show, we found a plethora of individuals with long-lasting careers in all types of industries. Some of those industries are the arts, addiction, HR, education, comedy, the environment, food, marketing, leadership, etc., etc. We might even get into some women's and men's issues as well. So stay tuned to that in some of our upcoming podcasts. Another topic that I want to cover on our podcast is want to bring light how it is dating here in the 956. It's changed a lot in the last 20 years. I know that many of you have had many experiences and have very interesting stories that some of us can learn from. But not only learn from, appreciate, and just be thankful that it didn't happen to us. Yeah, that's true. Here we will definitely have some fun with it, but we want to ensure everyone that we will not be using individuals' names. But we will be sharing our stories. And let me tell you, some of those stories are widely true, but so hard to believe. I think I can make a movie of some of the things that I know. So if time allows, we will always try to get into that subject as deep as possible. So because we are going to be going live from Agave Studios, it would be great to mention, discuss, and taste our tequila of the week, which we'll do it on some shows. So stay tuned for that as well. We'll get into a little bit of the tequila history and so forth and so on. Some people know the house is called, I call it a Casa Azúcar y Agave. So let's get on with our podcast. Pour a glass, pull up a chair as we take you to the unknown. Today's guest is Valente Rodriguez. He is an American actor and producer born in Ed Couch, Texas, known for his role as Ernesto or Ernie Cardenas in the sitcom George Lopez. After growing up in a migrant farm worker family, he attended the University of Texas Pan American before moving to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career. If some of you guys don't know, UTRGV is the old Texas Pan American. His extensive filmography includes Salsa, Blood In, Blood Out, Mi Familia, and McFarland USA, as well as television roles in Mad About You, The Golden Girls, and Happily Divorced. The Golden Girls. That's a show I'll watch from time to time. He was born on February the 14th, Valentine's Day, hence the name. Ned Couch grew up as the youngest of 8 children in a migrant farm worker family. He put himself through college by performing children's theater, graduated from UTPA. He received the Distinguished Alumni Award from UTPA in 2006. Um, some of his acting career in television gained recognition for his role in the George Lopez as his best friend and co-worker, Ernie. A lot of you guys have seen that show. Some of you haven't. You should. I'm sure we can find it somewhere, right?
Oh yeah,
we can.
It's Peacock. It's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock. Okay. He also starred as Caesar in the TV series Happy Divorce. Appeared in other shows like Mad About You, The Golden Girls, The Mentalist. He also debuted in the film Salsa in 1988. Wow. Known for his roles in films such as Blood In, Blood Out, which is the badass movie. Mi Familia, McFarlane USA. He's been in Aaron Brockovich, Volcano, The Ugly Truth, and many, many, many others. I believe it's been over 100 from what I researched. He's also a producer and has written several theater pieces performed in Los Angeles. So Valente, welcome to the podcast, the Agave Hour podcast here from the 956, which brings you back to your roots, right, where you're originally from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Israel, and thank you for having your show, because right now it seems that the only thing we're paying attention to is our anger and our hate and all our division that's going on, and we need a place to bring the people that we see as heroes. Those people that are doing good things.
Yes, sir.
And there's more of those people than we know. So
Yeah.
we need to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Make us feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, not all superheroes wear capes, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no, most definitely. So what has you in the Valley this time around? Because I know you travel back and forth from LA to the RGV.
I
So
do
what are you
a
doing
whole
over here
bunch.
this time?
So this year, it's actually every September, I am the MC at the South Texas International Film Festival. It's in Edinburgh.
Okay.
They just got a brand new arts building. Last year was the first year there, and from here on out, it's going to be at that place. They bring in films from all over the world. Films from here. They have a 48-hour film race. They have they have shorts. They have feature-length films. They bring in professionals from out of state or from in-state. Everything from casting directors to producers to writers to actors like myself, to technical people, costumers and costume makeup people. And yeah, they had one of the nights a guy took an hour and a half and he made a zombie. Somebody was in the makeup chair and they made him up like a zombie. It took him an hour and a half to and the cool thing was cool. People are invited to this, and you can sit there in the audience and actually watch him, work for an hour and a half and turn this individual from a human being into a zombie.
That's
right?
awesome.
And then on Saturday night, there's an award ceremony. They give the awards out. There's the really biggest thing that I like about it is that when I left here, there was nothing like that going on. And so my dreams of going to the other world, although I felt I was very prepared acting-wise with my teachers, there was no professional preparation about what happens after you get there. What's it like once you're there, right?
Sure.
And so what this organization does is the film festival, they bring in professional people, and students actually on Thursday, which is our student day, students actually have an opportunity to stand in front of these professional people from Los Angeles and New York and Chicago and ask them very personal questions, or ask them questions about, their personal journey and where it is that they want to go. And so it's a really good sounding board for the individuals that are interested in pursuing it. The other thing is that there's actually a lot of film going on down here. A lot of film.
There is,
you
yeah.
look on the internet and there's casting calls going on all the
Yes,
time,
sir.
right? And so what this place does is it brings a lot of those filmmakers together. And so it's a really good place to network, because not only are these professional people coming out from out of state, but there are the people that want to learn from them. So if there's a famous cinematographer coming in, you might have a whole bunch of cinematographers that are in the Rio Grande Valley going to see what this guy has to say. So it's and then every night there's a mixer. And so you go to this thing and you get to meet all these people. And if you're a young person who needs a cinematographer and a sound person or this or that, this is a great place to go for that. And so, and then the other thing it provides is you see that you're not by yourself. You see that you're not alone. You see that there's actually a really big community down here who wants to help, right? And that's my prime, where I put most of my energy is. I've been very, very blessed, Israel. I never imagined that I was going to get to the place that I got to, and so I'm trying to make as big of a difference as I can.
You are,
and that's great. But I really want students to realize that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short or a boy or a girl or green eyes or brown eyes or whatever. That doesn't matter. What matters is the conviction that's in your heart and how much you can dedicate yourself to the thing that it is you're pursuing.
Sure.
That's what matters, right? Now, here's the other thing. Life is hard. You know that.
Absolutely.
You've had tragedy. You've had love. You've had loss. You've had triumph, right?
Yeah.
Actors, professional people, nobody has a getaway card for free, get out of jail for free. Nobody. Everybody in their life experiences things.
Sure.
At the end of the day, what saves us is the community that we have, the community that we build around us. Those are the people that are going to pull us out of those dark holes, that depression that we lose.
Yes, sir.
You know, bring us down to earth when we're too much in love. You know, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we really have to nurture. We really have to nurture that. And you know, I'm on that mission. And then, of course, the other thing, you mentioned I grew up as a farm worker.
Yeah.
My way out of that was education. Education. And so I'm really, really big into it. I lean into it. I try and tell anybody I can that's the easiest way out. That's so much easier than going to work at 16 at the garage or in the oil field or wherever.
Yeah.
Now, you might be making a lot of money, but without education, certain jobs just go a certain place, right? And when I say education, I don't mean college. I do mean college, but I don't mean only college.
I hear you 100%.
No.
I can't disagree with you.
You know what? If you can apprentice with somebody, actually, that's what I would say. You already know what you want to do. You already know what you want to do, and there's somebody who you can apprentice with, a master who's a good master, right? Who will teach you the trade and be kind to you. I say go there. There are some things in college that I've never used. Now, at the same time, I had a ton of fun in college. I did. I had so much fun in college.
Yeah.
And maybe perhaps part of what the strength of college is it's going to take you 4 years. It's going to, or 3 at least. It's going to give you 3 to 4 years to grow up more.
That is true.
Because although you think you know everything at 18, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Right? But you'll probably know more at 21. You'll go through more experiences, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing that it does. It helps us mature. It really does.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is, if you don't know what you want to do, college is a great place. You go to college, you take a class in that, you take a class in that, you take a class in this, you go to there, you meet different people, you join the science club, you join the math club, whatever you're interested in, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you find what it is that you want to do.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually, for great examples, I had one of my girls. She called me a couple of days ago. She's they're all up in San Marcos, and she was concerned because she didn't like a business class that she was taking. You know, she's like, Dad, I don't know if this is for me. I might want to change my major. I don't worry about it. You have a couple of years to really make that decision.
Yeah.
So, but give it a chance, you know, and is that going to help you in your career? Yeah, probably. Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, it is so true. It helps you grow up a little bit more.
It does.
It really does.
And a lot of the classes that you might be taking, you don't realize, but eventually, some of the information you learn there is going to help you on later on in life.
Yeah.
You know, business classes. As an actor, I actually wish I'd have taken more business classes.
Yeah.
Because what do you do with your money once you make it?
No doubt.
How do you hold on to it the best you can? And as an actor, where I might work this month and then not work for another 4 or 5 months, those skills would have come in really handy. Right?
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, I knew the first thing. Put it in the bank.
Put it in the bank.
The first thing, don't spend it, right?
Yes, sir.
Only spend what you need.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a trip.
It sure is. Yeah. So So what are you working? Are you working on anything today? Is there something that you're working on specifically that you can discuss, or
No, yeah, no,
sometimes I know you know it's too early, might be
There
too
are,
early, but
well, sometimes what will happen is they'll ask you to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement.
right.
So legally, you can't say it.
Which you would have learned in business if you would have taken
Which
a
I
business
would have.
class, right?
I would have learned in business. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so there's one particular project where I've signed that, so I can't do it. And that's what I can say is that's still in development.
Okay.
I'm doing stand up. I'm always writing. I'm always writing, because I believe that that's the seed. That's the thing you plant, and that will make it grow. The other stuff you cannot plant. It won't grow. And so it all starts with the writing.
Yes.
All the movies, television, theater, it all starts with the writing. I'm always constantly writing. Doing stand up.
Right. Tell me a little bit about that. 'Cause
Challenging myself.
I know you and I have discussed that.
Yeah.
You know, we've had other some people involved in certain things that we're working on too.
Yeah.
So,
Doing stand up is there. So 2020 COVID, right? 21 actor strike, 22 director strike, 23 writer strike, 24 IATSE strike, which is the technical people. So and then the video people. So COVID strike.
Wow.
Which made work go
man.
complete
My
my way.
goodness,
So
yeah.
I'm looking for a new way to make money. Certainly not at COVID time, but right after 2021. And a friend of mine said, you should go ahead and do stand up. And I'm like, I need jokes. What do I gotta write jokes. I gotta blah 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 blah. And he goes, just go do it. Look, 50. It's gonna. You get up there the first time. It's probably gonna be 10, 15 minutes, right?
Right.
Go do it. See what happens. If you fall on your face, you fall on your face. And I'm not afraid to fall on my Israel. I fail 9 times out of 10.
Tell the audience that, or the younger generation out there that it's okay to fail, because
It's completely okay to
that's
fail.
just one of the things that happens in life.
Yeah, and you know what? We learn more from our failures than from our successes.
100%.
Because when we're succeeding, there's no reason to learn anything. We're doing good. It's working. But when you fail, you got to go, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
Why didn't it work?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, so many times I've been somewhat concerned about what my girls are doing, but yet I let them fail because they need to understand that it's going to happen in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So, more than once,
Yes.
I failed many times.
Yes,
Many times
and-
in business.
And not just how many times I just look at my own personal life. How many times did somebody tell me something never sunk? But then when I did it and I failed, I'm like, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
That's what they were talking about.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
when you go through that experience yourself, that's when the lesson kicks in.
Yeah.
That's
for
exactly
sure.
when the lesson kicks
For sure. So I wanted to ask you grew up in a family of migrant farm workers, right,
Mhm.
like we mentioned earlier, from that couch. How did your upbringing and your experience working in the fields influence your work ethic and your perspective in life? So you kind of touched on it a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Starting from the bottom, and even as sad as the migrant farm worker life sounds, because we were year-round migrants. So we'd spend 3 months in different places. 6 months in the southern United States, 6 months in the northern United States. Washington, Oklahoma, North Dakota, South Dakota, Ohio, Indiana, Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, North Texas, West Texas, California, New Mexico, Colorado, just
Wow.
all over the place.
you were everywhere.
Yeah. So much so that I got left behind 2 grades not because I was dumb, although I kind of was a little bit at the beginning, but because I didn't spend enough time in any of the one places. And then somewhere around 5th or 6th grade, I started learning better English, and they moved me forward. But how the migrant farm worker life set me up to be an actor, a couple of different ways that are very, very important. One, you have to be very quick because you're going from place to place to place to place to place. You're very, very, very poor, right? You gotta be quick with it. You gotta be,
you have to be, sure.
yeah. You gotta always, right? And then number 2, which I think is what I have, I'm not quite sure, because a friend of mine was telling me the other day, you're so years of my life going to a school for 2 weeks because then we moved, and going to another school for 2 weeks because then we moved. Being the new kid always,
Yeah.
being the new Mexican kid, not just the new kid. Going to school in North Dakota with all the white little kids, and you're the only Mexican kid.
Wow.
Who only has one pair of jeans and 2 shirts, and they know that because they see what you're wearing every single,
Every single day.
So I guess subconsciously I developed some kind of way to make people like me. I don't even know what that is. Maybe it's just how open and friendly and talkative I am. I think those are the 2 ways. Now, I think even more important than the hard work.
Yeah.
Even more important than the hard work. And then here's the other thing. Once you've been in the fields, or once you've done a job that's just so hard, on the roof, working in the oil fields, picking cotton, one of those jobs is just... Going to school is nothing, brother.
Oh yeah.
You're in air conditioning. You're sitting in a chair. I only have to figure out what 2 plus 2 is. That's it. That's the work I gotta do. I have to work in the sun at 100, at 100 degrees. I smell blood in my nose because it's so hot out there. My hands are cracking because of the pesticides that I've picked all the vegetables. I'm getting sores around my waist because of all the pesticides that Yeah. So then when I got to school, I'm like, nothing,
right?
Nothing. And only my guys, like, I found it. I found my way out. So and that's why I concentrate on education.
And so is that kind of where your funniness started? I mean,
I think so.
Because you wanted to
also
be liked,
youngest
right?
of
You
eight.
were likable, right?
Exactly. I want to be likable, and I'm youngest of 8. I want to be liked like the other, but I also want to be liked by my brothers and sisters, right?
Right.
And I'm the youngest too.
You're the youngest of 8. I'm the youngest of 7.
So you know what it's like.
Oh, absolutely. And I think in a way, in many ways, our success, at whatever level, right, comes from seeing the experiences that we've seen from our brothers and sisters. I'm definitely one that can absolutely say that.
Yeah.
I've seen their mistakes, I've seen their glory, and I've seen their terrible mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a place I don't want to be. So, or didn't want to go to. So yeah, it makes you. I think it molds you a little bit different.
I think so.
As being the youngest.
I think it does. I really do.
I really do.
But you don't want to get beaten up by them. But not just the physical thing of getting beaten up. But you're number 7. You're number 8. What the heck are you gonna do to stand out? Right? How is it that you're gonna attract attention to yourself when everybody else is in front of you? And so I think maybe that's one of the things.
I think there's and I've read it, and people can fact check me, but there's a certain success that comes to the youngest. There's also I guess other than success, but it's you tend to be more of an entrepreneur if you're the youngest as well. Maybe I come from a farm worker migrant family as well. I was, again, being the 7th though, I didn't get to go anywhere. I stayed here. By the time that I was born, my dad had gotten a salesman job at a furniture store.
So you didn't migrate anymore.
Yeah, but my 6 brothers and sisters, older, they all did.
Yeah.
They all did.
Yeah.
So they lived a little differently, as well. So.
Well, I ended up working in the fields. Now, in all honesty, I worked nowhere near as hard as my older brother and sister. My older brothers and sisters, their whole life, until they were 18 or 19 or however old they were when they decided to make those decisions. And most of them were pretty bad decisions to get away from the fields,
Yes.
Again, I learned, like you, I learned from their mistakes.
Yes.
They worked so much harder than I did. But even what I did, because I was the younger, and it's crazy because it's like, were you in the fields? Somebody might ask you, were you ever in the fields? And if you're in a family of migrant farm workers, you're gonna be in the fields, brother. You're gonna be in the fields because you know who takes care of babies? Other babies.
Yes.
You have the 5-year-old taking care of the 2-year-old.
Yes.
And you know where you leave them? In the car.
Yes.
at the head of the row,
Yes.
and you just stagger your stuff so that every 5 minutes an adult is going to go walk by the car and make sure that the two children are okay.
Yeah. No, I've seen pictures of uh, my 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 older brother where he is under a camion,
Yes.
with some towels and some sábanas, and
And
that's
a pillow
where
or
he's
two.
at.
And,
Yeah, he's under the camion.
Yes.
In the field.
Yes.
That's they had to. What else?
They had to.
I don't even know there was daycares
You're
back
down to
then.
leave them at home.
Yeah,
There
no.
isn't. You don't know anybody. You're in some
Yeah.
foreign place. You're in Ohio or Michigan.
Much
or
as
whatever.
there wasn't money for
No,
childcare.
and you gotta work.
You got-
And if not, size kid, you gotta tie the kid to your back. Mom, or somebody tie the kid to the go. You have to earn the money. You're a you got the money. And just that, even if you didn't work in the field, that's a you getting a 5-year-old taken care of. Then there's always tragedy. There's lots of tragedies. that
Siempre.
happen.
Yes.
Some people get, survive, pero siempre hay tragedy.
Yeah,
Creo que hay algo.
funny story. I know one of my tias, and I was hanging out with my cousins yesterday. And I did bring it up, but one of my tias, there was a story where there was a bee. They were all picking,
Right.
I don't know, whatever it was,
Uh-huh.
and a bee got into her blouse.
Right.
So she started yelling. And she started telling other kids, everybody turn around, because
She was taking her
take
clothes
off her
off,
clothes
trying to
off.
get the bee.
Trying to get the bee out of there. So those are some of the more subtle
Very subtle traps.
tragedy.
Tragedies.
Tragedies. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me tell you another quick one. We're in the fields. We're working Batael, and you work it with a hoe, and the weeds grow up, and you take the hoe and boom, you cut the weeds down, and some of these weeds are really big, and they have troncos like that, right?
Yeah.
Really big, and the kids are also there. The ones that aren't quite working, they're 2 or 3. They're little, but they're out there in the fields because there's no one to take care of them, and they're playing, and the kids are having a great time.
Of course.
They have no idea where they are.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They're eating the tomatoes or the strawberries or whatever they are, right? But they're still running around in the fields, getting exposed to pesticides and all this other
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Well, in this particular case, here's my sister con el asadón. Ponle en fregas, carnal. Ponle. And on one of these, here comes a little kid.
Oh no.
Boom. Right on top of it. Now, there wasn't that big of a tragedy. I mean, yeah, big slice, blood. Vámonos al doctor.
Yeah.
The kid survived. The kid's fine now. He's 45. Está bien. Pero when in a normal growing up, would your mom ever be going like that, and you have to be there, and she would hit you, things
Wow.
like that
Yeah,
that ends
things
up
like that.
happening. It's just that particular lifestyle is so hard to survive. So hard to survive. It's crazy.
But most people did, right?
It makes you big time resilient too.
It really does.
It makes you big time resilient.
Yeah, those are times that I'm sure none of my brothers and sisters would ever want to go to.
Yeah.
But going back to your point about the older brothers and sisters have it harder. Yeah, I mean it's so true. It's so true.
Because not only I experienced the 70s, almost all the 70s. I was born in 64. So the 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, I don't quite remember. That's when my memories come in at about 69.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah,
Would I?
4 or 5 years old. Yeah.
That's normal. Yeah.
Right? So I worked that long, right? I experienced America at that time. My brothers and sisters experienced America from the 40s to the 60s.
Wow.
Right?
It was a different time.
A different place.
Yeah. Different place.
Completely different place. Still signs, no Mexicans, blacks,
Yeah.
no this, no that. You didn't go to this school, you went to that school, that sort of stuff. So not only are you like a mule just working in the hardest of places, but they're also beating you as
Yeah.
this is the place that you live also is not set up for you.
No.
There are no doctors for you.
Not
There's no
at
this
all.
for you. There's no that for you.
Yeah.
And so it's a hard place, man. But it does, like you're saying, it makes you know how resilient you are. And it shows you how strong you can be.
Yeah.
You got to be really, really strong.
Yeah,
It shows you how strong you
our
can be.
bodies and our minds can take a beating,
Oh my
but
gosh. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
very true. Very, very true. So going to Pan Am, you
Mhm.
got your master's in theater in 2015, más o menos.
2015. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How did your formal training shape your approach to acting?
So, 100%, 100%. They taught me most of everything I know. What I brought with me was just raw talent. That's all that I didn't even know I had. Um, what they saw in me was this kid that just keeps going.
Yeah,
It just keeps going. When you got here at 8 in the morning, did classes from 8 to 10, then from 10 to 3, he went to work at the studio.
right.
And then from 3 to 6, he went to work at the shop building the sets. And then from 6 to 11, he went to rehearsals. And the next day, he did it again and again and again and again and again, over and over and over and over. And he started school the first summer session, 82, and went straight through summer, summer, fall, spring, summer, summer, fall, spring, summer, summer, fall, spring, summer, summer, fall, for 6 years in a row. All right. So they see that sort of dedication, and I think they just come out of the woodwork to try and help, to try and make you achieve your what it is that you're trying to do. Yeah.
Wow.
And so they taught me everything. They said, okay, I was introduced to Doug Cummins, Marion Monta, Dr. Holly, John Holly, I think it's John Holly, Steve Copeland, and Marion Monta specifically said to me, you want to be an actor? I said, yes. He goes, okay, these are the classes you have to take. All right, I'll take them. And some of those classes I took 2 or 3 times:
Sure.
diction, speech, acting.
I took speech 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude.
Three times.
Before my brain kicked in at 5 or 6 grade, I was in all the remedial classes,
Yeah.
all of them. English as a second language,
For
FOM,
sure.
fundamentals of mathematics. I was
Yeah.
in all the remedial classes. But once I figured it out, and then focused on education, on learning, then, like I said, it became a breeze. It became
That's
a breeze.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you took off from the Rio Grande Valley,
Mhm.
you went to LA probably in 1988, more or less.
87
87.
September.
Um, so the culture shock from
Yes.
I know you traveled a lot with your family,
Yeah.
but this time it was different. You were a little bit
Completely
older.
different.
Times were changing or had
And no
changed
family
already.
around.
No family around. So culture shock. I
Big
mean,
time.
there's a lot of Latinos in LA at the time anyway, or not
No,
so
there
many?
are a lot of Latinos in LA, but I moved to Orange County. But I moved to LA quickly afterwards. However, uh, more than the culture shock because big city. But I visited big cities because I knew what
Right,
big
right.
cities were like. But culture shock in that here in the valley, most of us, probably 80% of us, have family, and so every other weekend or every other week or every other month, there's a quinceañera,
Sure.
there's a birth, there's a pachanga, there's a something, and you're seeing each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was all from family. No, I didn't see my family. They no, there was nobody out there, and so that's hard. But for me, it was really hard. And if I had failed, that was probably going to be the reason I would fail, because I couldn't take it anymore, and I was going to leave and come back home. But this is what I told myself. I said, look, I'm 23. I was 23 when I got there, and I said, you take till you're 35. You stay in LA till you're 35, or not stay in LA. You try to become an actor until you're 35. If you
Wow.
don't make it by then you need to redo something.
Sure.
Leave it. Déjalo.
Sure.
Go make money. Go make a life.
So then at the age of 23 in 87,
Mhm.
um, what said, hey, you got to be in LA? Did you go for an audition? Did you have a manager, an agent? Did you just get on the bus and
Nothing
go?
said, Israel. I got turned down when so sophomore, junior, and senior year. Each one of those years, I auditioned for our junior and senior year, and then my graduate school year as well. I auditioned for every single MFA program in the nation. The Masters of Fine Arts, you actually have to audition to get into.
Okay.
Not a single school took me. Every school. I auditioned for every college, every university that had an MFA, I auditioned for. Nobody took me.
Nada.
In this weird, ignorant, innocent, stupid kind of way, I thought, well, that must mean I'm ready. Vámonos. Right? And I got a name from one of my Doug Cummins, one of my teachers who's actually already passed. And that's all I had, one agent name.
One agent name.
One agent
Nada
name.
más.
And I walk into our office, I called her, and she said, first thing they asked you is, do you have a card? Are you a member of the union? Of course, you're brand new. Of course, I'm not, right?
Right.
And she said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, I can't sign you. But come in, let's have a visit, let's talk for 5 minutes. Mostly probably just to be nice to her friend,
Oh, yes.
my professor that had given me the number, probably
Yeah.
most, so I wouldn't call him Doug and go, man, yeah, she wouldn't even see me kind of thing. So I went in and I talked to her, and I'm walking probably 5-10 minutes, and I'm walking out, and she has, you remember the first VHS players?
Absolutely.
Not the betas, the big ones.
Yes.
They're like 3/4 inch, like
Yes.
big one. Okay.
Yes.
She had one of those. And Dr. Holly had put together some scenes that I was in, about 6 minutes worth of theater, camera way at the back of the house, and it's just like this. And so it's the most terrible thing you could to put on your reel, right? But that's all I had, right? I said, Terry, I see you have one of those. I got about 6 minutes on my reel. Do me a favor. Look at it, and if I suck, tell me. Just tell me. End it right here. Tell me you're bad. You need to go away.
That's pretty big at 23. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I had no other. I mean, I'm at this point. I'm like, how do I? And again, the quick thinking of you have to be quick.
Sure.
What can you do? What can you do? What can I saw the machine? I went and I was very honest in terms of what I'm trying to say when I'm saying if I suck, tell me is please be as honest with me as you can. Don't spare my
Sugarcoat
feelings.
or
Don't spare my
correct.
feelings. Just tell me.
Yeah.
She laughed. She went, okay. The very next morning she called me. She goes, I can't sign you. I told you I can't sign you, but I'm going to send you on a couple of things. See how you do.
Wow.
First thing she sent me out on, salsa. I got it.
Are you serious?
8 weeks on a movie.
Oh my God.
First
that
thing
is
she sent me out
amazing.
on. So then she called me back in a while. I signed the contract,
That's a huge break in Hollywood
It's
time
huge.
frame, right?
It's huge. It doesn't happen that
It
fast.
doesn't happen.
Never, ever, ever. Unless they come scout you and they've cast you down.
Right. Yeah. For a specific role, yes. But this way, wow.
It happens every
Yeah.
now and then. It does happen.
It does
every now and then. But yeah. And so then 8 weeks on a movie, got all that money, stuck it in the bank, moved to LA, started looking for a theater company,
Uh-huh.
found a theater company, committed myself to them, and started doing plays. The first from 88 to about 95, 88, maybe 92. I did a ton of plays. And at the same time, I was auditioning and doing TV. As a matter of fact, I did Golden Girls while I was doing a play.
Wow.
And the day I got Golden Girls, I also got the one with Bundy. Bundy.
Yes.
The guy and his wife and then the
yes.
2 kids.
Yeah. Married with Children.
Married with
Yeah,
Children.
Married with Children.
And I couldn't do it. I chose Golden Girls.
Oh wow.
Both at the same time.
So
I couldn't
okay,
do the other part.
so why was because Golden Girls? I mean, was it already? Was
In
it
my
hitting?
mind, well,
And-
it was me.
Uh-huh.
In my mind, given the choice, I went, no, I want to do Golden Girls. Because of B. Arthur, because of Betty White,
Of
because
course.
and because of the show.
Yeah.
Man, I love this show, first of all.
Yeah.
It's smart and it's funny, right?
sure
and it's
is,
all
yeah.
women, and that was a blast. It was a blast. I walk in the door and B. Arthur comes up to me and shakes my hand and says, Valente, very nice to meet you. Welcome to our house.
Wow.
And that's like, what?
That is so
That's
amazing.
beyond, man. I'm like a little Mexican kid from the valley. And here's this woman who's has, whatever. I had to pinch myself. I try to be as respectful and not show how nervous I am.
Yes,
right?
of course.
And usually, once you get into the work, that all that nervousness just goes away because you start working.
Yeah.
So you start concentrating.
So what was the role? What
It was the
role
air
were you
conditioning
playing?
repair. It was one little scene. It was the air
One
conditioning
scene.
repairman. I
Uh-huh.
come in. I have one line. She says something about it's really hot. She says something about being hot, and I said, not just you. The old lady across. The old lady that's the neighbor is jumping across the sprinkler in her underwear. It ends up being her mom,
Okay, yeah.
right? The little old Estelle
Yeah,
Getty that,
yeah.
that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She's like, Mom!
She was
And
hilarious, yeah.
And so a lot of theater, a little bit of TV, movie, another movie, then Blood In, Blood Out in 93, then another movie, and it started getting better and better. Aaron Brockovich, more movies, more TV. And then 2002, I got a script. Said George Lopez.
2002.
2002. It was actually 2001.
Okay.
And I opened it, and I was, oh, wow, a Latino sitcom.
So,
I'd never read that before.
so how did that script fall into your hands through your agent,
Yeah.
or you didn't know George Lopez personally?
No, I didn't know him at all.
You just knew that he was a stand-up comedian at the time
Yes.
because that's what he was. Right?
Yes. And my first audition wasn't an actual audition. It was what they call a cold call. So you're not actually auditioning for everything. You're just going in and you're talking to the casting director, and they're kind of figuring you out. You might do a monologue for them, right? Or they might hand you a scene to read.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a job from it. They just want to see how you do the scene.
Sure.
And so that was my first one. And then for my second one, I got the script. And when I read
Okay.
the script, I went, wow, okay, never seen a Latino sitcom. Number two, it's really good.
Mhm.
Number three, this guy, Ernie, I can do. I
Really?
can play Ernie. No, I can play.
So
Ernie,
on the
right?
script, there was different roles basically.
Well, you get
Or
you get
you
the
get
whole
the whole
script.
script.
Right. So in reading the script, and Ernie had, some scenes in that script, and reading those scenes and reading the description of who Ernie is and who he needs to be. He needs to be just George's best friend. I'm thinking, this is the part I can do. And really, it's the only part I can audition for. I'm not auditioning for George Lopez, right?
Right.
So this is the part I can do. I can really, really do. There's nothing in my way. And then the fact that I went in 7 times, that played into my hands because I'm from the theater world. The more I go in, the better I get because
Yes.
I'm into rehearsal over and over and over. And I'm going to discover something. I'm going to discover something new every single time. And so it just seemed like, again, I was, somebody was guiding me. I was getting opportunity. I was getting the opportunity that I thought I was never going to get, especially
Right.
by that time because I already been in town like 15 years. There's no overnight success in LA, right?
Right.
I got the part, 2002. And then we did 4 shows. The first season was short, half season, 4 shows. And then we ended up doing 120 shows, 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went in seven times.
Uh-huh.
Was there any other actor that you know of that we know of today that has done well in Hollywood
No.
that was going after that role?
Yeah, well, you do know one of the actors is Mel Rodriguez, who was going after that role, and
Uh-huh.
Mel actually he came in, did a couple of episodes for us. He was in the factory. Mel, I just saw, I think yet last year, he was on a series, and I forget which one it was. And then this other guy Juan was the other guy that. Those were the 3 of us. So what ends up happening is the first time you're there, there's probably 25 or 30 people in the room, and we all know each other in Israel because we're always auditioning for the same parts.
Okay.
Right? So it's Juan and it's Ricky and it's Bobby and it's and we might play softball with that guy and we might golf with that guy and
Sure.
we might go to a party with that guy. So
It's
we
all friendly, me
all
imagino.
friendly,
Okay, good.
right? Because the working actors, that's a pretty small pool, right?
Yeah.
Especially Latinos.
Yeah.
So we all know each other. And then the next time, a couple are missing, or half of them are gone. They're not there. And then the next time, otra vez. The next time, again, more are missing and more are missing and more. Second to the last, there's 3 of us. Last audition, there's only 2 of us.
Do you remember who was there with you?
I do, but I can't tell you.
Okay. Well, we hear a lot of times like the initial.
It was nobody you
Batman
would know.
was nobody.
It was nobody.
would
It was
know.
no familiar face yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And so I got it, and then And then that ended in 2006. 2007, we should have gotten one here. Why did it get canceled? Money. It's always about money.
It's always about money.
Yeah.
So 120 shows, I would say, what, 7, 8 seasons or
Six.
6 seasons?
Six. Yeah. Because
Okay.
network usually, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, their shows usually are apportioned 11 and 11 or 13 and 13. And both of those make a full season. So a
Okay.
full season is like 22 instead of like 10 in Netflix or you know the shorter Hulu or Netflix or Apple series. Those are much shorter.
Yeah.
They usually don't run 22 or 26. And actually for George, I think one year we did 28.
28.
Yeah.
My goodness.
28 shows.
Probably when it was really, really peaking, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it
or
was season number 5.
number
I think it was
5.
the season before our last season. Yeah, they used to do 36. 36 used to be the standard order.
36. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
So do you still talk to George, or
Yeah.
you still?
I golf with him a lot. We
Oh,
golf
you
a
do?
lot. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's extremely busy. He's on the west side. I'm on the east side by choice. And so, and he's still doing his stand up.
Yeah, he's still doing
And
stand-up.
he was doing the show. Their last show just got canceled. Lopez versus Lopez just got canceled. So he's always in and out of town during the weekends and stuff like that. But what we do is we get together, we play golf. I go golfing with him.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So who's better?
He
Who has
is.
a higher handicap?
No, he is. I have a higher
Yeah.
handicap.
Yeah.
I have a higher.
Well, both
but
of-
every once in a while, I hit a good one.
You hit a good
Yeah,
one. You're like me, but maybe not so. Cause
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
What happened is like he'll go par, and I'll go
That's-
bogey, birdie, bogey, bogey. No eagle. I think I've had one eagle
One
and
eagle.
2 holes in ones.
You
But on
have.
on little bitty par 3s on 110 and 127 little bitty holes.
Oh, okay. Not at the putt.
No,
not the legitimate golf course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legitimate.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, it's good that you still keep in touch with him. You
I
know?
do, and actually, you know what? I'm going to miss Constance's birthday because her birthday is later on this month, and I'm actually going to be in Denver doing stand up.
Ah, interesting. And forgive me, but who
Constance is George's wife on the show.
on the show? Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I recognize the name. Very, very, very cool.
And Constance, this is how weird and small the world is. I was in a movie called Mi Familia. Actually,
Familia,
Constance was in salsa.
Oh, she was.
We didn't know each other. She was
My
one of the lead
goodness.
dancers. She was one of the dancers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you a dancer on salsa? No, right?
I learned how to dance.
You
I
learned how
wasn't
to
really a
dance?
dan-
No?
I wasn't. Even after learning, I wouldn't call myself a dancer. You
I don't
know?
call myself a dancer
You know,
either.
I don't
By-
fall down. That's
by any
good.
means. Yeah.
But then I did this other movie called Mi Familia,
Uh-huh.
and there's a scene in Mi Familia where somebody's it's a wedding. Somebody's getting married. I'm sitting behind Isai, and the woman that we're all lusting after is going to be a nun. And somebody comes and tells us, she's going to be a nun. And my character goes, a nun? A nun? What a waste. I didn't say terrible. I say the F word. What a waste. And I'm not going to say it. That's Constance. That's
That is-
her. And so then, that was probably 8 years after that. Then we did George Lopez together.
Wow. Yeah, she was a gorgeous woman. Is a gorgeous
She is
woman. She
still
was a
gorgeous.
big,
And she's worked a lot.
a
She
little
worked for-
crush.
Oh,
Definitely one
yeah.
of my crushes, Hollywood crushes for
Yes.
sure.
And she's so beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's not just physically, but internally.
As
She's
a
got
person.
such a big heart. And she's done pretty well. She went from George Lopez, and I think she went to what was it called? With the 2 families, and they switched at birth. I
Meet
think
the
it was called
fuckers?
Switched
No, I
at-
don't
no,
know.
it wasn't that one. I think it was called Switched at Birth. She went to another series,
Uh-huh.
and then after that, she went to another series as well. So she's worked a lot. She deserves it. She deserves it.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So, what are your favorite memories about the George Lopez show?
Man,
I'm
all
sure.
of it.
I'm sure you have tons.
God,
I'm sure you have
tons
many,
of
but-
memories. Well, here's a memory I have.
Yeah.
Our production, we were at the corner. We're at Warner Brothers, and our stage was in a corner, and there was a road, and across the little road, literally like from here to your backyard over there, just on
Sure.
the other side, George Clooney's office, Steven Soderbergh's office, and Clint Eastwood's office.
No way.
Yes, every Friday, most Fridays, not every Friday, but most Fridays, and certainly most show days, uh, we would have a taco truck outside, and every once in a while, George would come over and get a taco, and Clint came over and had a taco, and Soderbergh came over and had a. And they're going, man, I'll take a taco, and so just that sort of. I don't want to say this in a bad way. We brought the rancho to Warner Brothers, right?
Sure.
Come on over, vénganse, vénganse. You know, just well, we don't care. Vente. Let's,
Yeah.
You know, and then of course the memories of the show itself. It was so much fun, so amazing to be working with a cast whom you could mold and move and go anywhere, and they're so good that they can play. And then even times when we forgot, it doesn't happen so much on television. Usually, they just say cut.
Yeah.
But most of us would just keep going to see if anything good would come of, when we messed up. And then George, the biggest thing was him is just not laugh, trying not to laugh because he's so funny. And then sometimes that instinct is right though. Sometimes you do laugh because guess what? Ernie sometimes laughs at George because George is funny,
Right.
right? So sometimes you don't have to hold it back, right?
Yeah.
We went through a lot in that show, man. We went through weddings, and we had a young 22-year-old intern working for us. Jenna was her name, and she just gorgeous woman. She's 5'9", athletic. She was Olympic soccer, that sort of.
Yeah.
She's working as an intern, and she went for a jog because they were going to do the marathon in LA. And she went for a jog, and she had a massive coronary.
Wow.
Halfway into our season, and she was just beautiful, not just beautiful, but everybody loved her. Everybody, just friendly, everything. And 22, and at the start of life, with the whole world ahead of her, and she's gone.
Wow.
And so all of us as a group, the show carried, I think, 125 of us worked as actors, electrician, blah, 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 blah. And all of us were we took a whole day, just tell stories about her and talk about her and grief counseling and all that kind of stuff. But, and as well, we would have every single holiday, or if we were working, we'd have a potluck. It doesn't happen in LA.
No.
People don't do potlucks at sitcom. George Clooney's not making macaroni at home to come to
I don't
to
think
bring
he is.
to the hospital show
I
for a
wouldn't think
potluck.
so.
Belita's making 2 turkeys, and I'm making mashed potatoes, and Constance is doing her salad, and other people are bringing tamales and we'd have these dinners. We'd have these huge dinners, and all of us would sit together and eat, and so we suffered love and tragedy and all that. And I
Absolutely.
think that's one of the things that brought us together. I mean, no matter what other show I do, they'll never be the same as that show.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same.
It reminds me of John Ritter. He passed during a show. I think it was an aortic aneurysm or something like that.
I met him.
I loved him.
My God,
he was just so funny.
When
I
was with Fran doing Happily Divorced, we were in the same network that Mr. Ritter had a show on, and so they do these publicity things where they bring all of us together, and so there's a chance for us to meet each other. And
Sure.
I spent about half an hour talking to him, and again, man, Three's Company. Something I watched when I was a little kid.
Exactly.
And now
One
he's
of the shows
right in front of me.
Yeah.
Just again blessed to be in a place where I run into the people that I idolized at
No
specific
doubt.
points.
Yeah, that was a sad time for me because I grew up again, with him, and my dad would watch my other brother also. And my dad wasn't, he didn't understand English all that well, but he would crack up. It was he was a funny guy.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kramer, he would do a lot of cuando se cae.
A lot of physical humor.
Physical humor.
Yeah.
He was just he was amazing. I mean, that guy was just just awesome. I mean, I really really like
and
him.
really friendly.
Yeah.
And then the other person is Betty White.
Oh, Betty White.
Betty White's doing Hot in Cleveland. We're doing and again, we're in the same network. And so I end up talking to her for 10, 15 minutes. And both of these people and most of these people are really friendly, really open, and love to talk. Love to have conversations, you know.
So how old was Betty White? Do you remember?
Oh my God, 90 something. Porque apenas murió at 100.
She was 100, I think.
Yeah.
I think she
100.
barely made it to 100.
So we were on the air 2015, 16, 17. So she was probably 92, algo así.
Wow. Yeah, she acted, I think, until the
very
end.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is she gonna do? You know, been acting
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah. For a
wow.
long time.
That's amazing. So you start as Caesar, right?
Mhm.
On Happily
Happily
Divorced.
Divorced, yeah.
What was it like to work with another one of my crushes? You
Right.
know, friend Drescher. So
It was beautiful. It was great. That again, George should have had more seasons, and that show should
Yeah.
have more seasons because we had Fran Drescher. Rita Moreno was on the show. Rita
oh,
Moreno played,
again another
yes.
one, gorgeous. Yeah,
And-
loved her too.
and John Michael Higgins, who I think is brilliant. And just so John Michael Higgins is also in A Mighty Wind
Mighty
and
Wind.
the Dog Show one. He's
Uh-huh.
he's one of those actors that's part of that cast. I don't think he was in Waiting for Government, but he was in and extremely talented and extremely smart. And Tanisha Arnold, again, very very talented. That's one of the things about getting to that place, whatever that place is. You know,
Right.
like if you're a baseball player, getting to the major leagues. If you're
Oh, yeah.
a football player, getting to the NFL. If you're an actor, getting to LA and getting on a sitcom. Those people, by the time they get to that place, they're really, really good, and they're really, really trained. You know, and those are the people you want to play with.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
The ones that are really good.
Yeah.
Really, really, because they make you better.
Well, that was going to be a question of mine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that with so much the years that they've been there and their expertise. I mean, it just pushes. It's got to push you to
Yeah.
the next level.
It does. Well, it certainly makes me go, I need to be just as good.
Absolutely.
I need to be certainly as good as I can be.
So, what about any type of intimidation? I mean, did you ever feel relaxed? Did you feel were you sweating a little bit more?
I've never felt intimidated by the work. I might have felt every once in a while I'll be intimidated by something I have to do. There was one thing in George Lopez where I had to skate. Right,
Okay.
I can skate,
Okay.
not very well,
Good.
but I can skate.
Yeah.
And I thought I could skate well enough to pull this off, during the show. And I put the skates on, and I would skate and skate and skate. But where they had me skating was in the factory, right? And what's in the factory?
Yes.
All these sharp metal things pointing out and
Oh,
pointing
my
nose, all that kind of
goodness.
stuff. So that scene didn't go so well. We ended up finishing and stuff like that. There was a scene where I did something with Fred Dreyer called Land's End. It's way before George Lopez. It was actually the only bad guy I've ever played. I'm a bad
Oh.
guy.
That's
I'm having sex with my brother's wife,
wow.
and I end up killing my brother. No,
You're
bad,
bad.
man. I was like so
Bad
proud
man.
that I got a bad guy role.
Wow.
One of the scenes was I'm in the boat. I got a gun. I put the gun in my belt. I jump in the water and I swim to shore. And over there is my brother and his wife, and that's where I'm gonna, kill my brother and take the woman and all that kind of stuff. But I got to put the gun in here, and then I got to jump in the water, and then I got to swim all the way to shore. And I am in the ocean. It's not a pool. And so something like that. I'm like, okay, you can't drop the gun. You got to make sure here. And as you're swimming, you got to look up to make sure that you're supposed to hit the beach where you're supposed, so
course.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The scene I did in Volcano, not the talking scenes, but the scene where I only had to be like, because I'm like that at the back of the car, and then
Yeah.
the guy comes in, and here comes the lava, and he puts me on his shoulder, and he walks all the way to the edge, and he jumps, and he lands in lava, and he throws me to safety, right? Okay. beforehand, me and Carol had to put on. They put lotion. They put like some kind of grease on us, the whole body. Then you put on long johns. Then they put on more grease. Then they put on some more stuff. Then you put on more grease. Then you put on your costume, right? Then you're like layered, brother.
Okay.
And all that grease is anti-burn stuff.
Okay,
right?
I was gonna ask.
Right?
Yeah,
And you're in a
assume.
subway,
Yeah.
and they tell you all of this stuff is going to be on fire. There's going to be stuff dripping from the top.
Ouch.
Right? And so you're like, okay. And he's going to put me on his shoulders and carry me, So that's when I get nervous. If we're talking acting, I'm not nervous.
Not a big deal. Yeah.
But you give me something physical to do or something, that's like, okay, is it safe? My first question is it safe? Is it, and that scene I was telling you about the swimming.
Yeah.
So I swim all the way to shore and I get to shore and I don't know if you've ever seen a film set or any of you guys film set, but usually what will happen is the camera's right here. That's the first thing you see. And then behind the cameras, there's all kinds of people. The camera people, the director, the costumer, all looking at you to make sure everything's fine. You didn't wear different clothes for the same blah, 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 right? So there's probably 50 people over there behind the camera. And I come out of the water, being the bad guy, right? Like this, right? And I see behind the camera, and everybody behind the camera is like this. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
I'm
killed
a badass.
You killed that, yeah.
And I feel something
You felt
on
like
my
Clint
arms.
Eastwood that day.
I feel something on my arms.
Oh, no.
And I look down, and there's blood streaming down. They'd scouted the beach. They didn't scout the water. I swam through coral.
Oh.
And on the strokes like this, and there's water. There literally was blood dripping from my fingers. Right? They were all like superficial, but there were a bunch of them.
Right.
And so it was like, and I was like, I saw it and I went,
But that made you a legend, I would assume, right? Because they said cut and, cut and that's it.
Cut. They had to
goodness.
fix it. We went away from that scene. I couldn't do the thing, that particular thing anymore. We waited. We actually, and the fortunate thing was that scene was like the second day. I was going to be there 10 days. That scene was the second day. They switched it to like the 9th day, and by then it was fine. I mean, I still had like cicatrices, but they actually looked tough, and so it was fine. We went ahead and we filmed it. I didn't go in the water anymore though. We just started from me walking out.
Sure.
We started from me walking out of the water. We already had the other stuff. And then, even worse, check it out. The boat guy, I'm supposed to be the captain of the boat, but the boat guy is over here, escondido, right? In case something goes wrong, he's going to come out and handle the boat.
Yeah.
And after everything, ya cuando pasó todo, there's a rap party at the very end, right?
Uh-huh.
And the boat guy's there. And I'm, again, very friendly. I'll talk to everybody, right? And I had a conversation con él, and there's usually half an hour, 10 minutes. They're doing stuff over there. We got nothing to do. So, ¿qué pasó? ¿Cómo está? ¿Y dónde hay de comer? Y, just back and forth. The party comes up to me y me dice, pues, es el lugar donde te echaste el clavado. ¿Sabes cómo lo llaman? El arroyo de los tiburones.
Okay.
Hammerhead sharks.
Hammerhead sharks, yeah.
Because this was down in Cabo.
Oh, it was in Cabo.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And he's like, people don't swim at this beach because there's sharks.
That is crazy.
So even that, and that's the stuff if I'd have known before, I don't know that I would have jumped in the water.
Yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So just some of the crazy things that happened. Yeah.
So you've traveled. What's the furthest that you've traveled for
Russia.
For a gig? Russia.
I went to Russia, and it was a theater gig. It wasn't even film or TV. It was a theater gig.
In Russia.
I went I told you that like from 88 to 92, 93, I
did a lot of
theater.
Yeah, theater.
I did a lot of theater. This other dude from from the Mark Taper Forum, which is a bigger theater, came and saw me, and they had a children's show, and we took that children's show and we toured with that children's show. And one of the places we toured was Moscow. They invited us to a big festival in a place called Rostov.
Uh-huh.
And so we went to Moscow, excuse me, for I don't know, like a week, and then we went down to Rostov for probably another week, and then we came back to Moscow for some more. So, and
Wow.
this was in 1989 when it was still the Soviet, before the wall came down.
Yeah, that's the year I
Yeah.
graduated high school.
Yeah,
My goodness.
yeah. So it's taken me a lot of places.
It has. So McFarland USA, I
Yeah.
told you it's a tearful movie, amazing movie.
Uh-huh.
Um,
True story.
True story, true. How was working with who was there? Kevin Costner,
Kevin Costner.
I believe.
Kevin Costner,
Yeah.
which is most of my scenes are with him because I'm the principal that keeps saying we don't have the money, and he wants to start. Well, first I employ him because he got in trouble where he was, and he had to leave there, and in a hurry, kind of, sort of. Not, I mean, they're not going to arrest him or anything, but he had to go apply for another job somewhere else, and I needed somebody, and so and I had seen his record, and so our first scene together is what happened? What happened this time? And what happened that time? And is it ever going to happen again? Blah, 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 blah. So I keep our scenes together. Always, we're kind of sort of at each other a little bit. But then he wins me over. And certainly once it starts going well, very friendly, very, 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 very friendly. We didn't sit and chat a whole bunch. It was very professional. But I had no.
He's been to the Valley as well,
Yes.
I believe. There's a story where he helped someone in Donna or somebody in
Oh,
Donna
very cool.
helped him gas up or
Right.
change the tires, something like
Very
that.
cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of role he does exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. This kind of sort of half broken man that's did something that's kind of bad, but not really all that bad.
Yeah.
What the reason he gets fired from the other school is, I think he throws a shoe, not intending to hit the kid, but he ends up hitting the kid, who's really being not a nice person. And he's a football coach, and that happens. You see that scene, and then he has to, somebody complains, and he has to leave. But I think those are the roles that he does the best. He's so everyman that people just love him. And there's some stories in here that are, and the script was really, really close to me because they're talking about kids who are working in the San Fernando or in the valley, right? And what they do is they go to work from 6 in the morning till 7:45, ran to get to school on time, all right?
Yeah.
Finished school at 3, ran back into the fields to work some more, right? And that's why they became really good runners, because they kept running to school to get there on time, right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. So I'll ask you a few more questions. But I know that you've worked with just so many. Is there a particular actor or director that really made an impression on you, or a producer, or
All there's one director. His name is Robert Young.
I've
Yeah,
heard the name. Yeah.
He's passing from. He directed a lot of documentaries, but I did a movie called Roosters,
Uh-huh.
where it started with another weird thing. So it started with one director, and then about a weekend, the executive producers, they weren't happy with the dailies, and dailies are what you shoot every day,
Okay.
and they tried to develop them, and then tonight we will see what we shot yesterday,
Okay.
and that's the way it goes. Right?
Yeah.
That way you get to see it. You got what you wanted, or we missed it. We
Let's do it
We
again.
didn't get that, or we got the whole scene, but we didn't get that shot with the lighter. We need that because later on va a haber algo con la lighter.
Yeah.
We need that. So they weren't very pleased with dailies, and the result ended up being that the director, the cinematographer, the costumer, the lighting person, and some of the camera people got fired,
Oh.
and they brought in a whole another. And Robert Young was the director that they had brought in,
Uh-huh.
and he was one of the first individuals who spoke to me, not in terms of what the director wants, but what you want, you as the actor. So this is what he said to me. When we finished the scene, he came up and he said to me, "Okay, Valente, this is what I saw." Blah, 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 blah. He said, If that's what you want me to see, great. That's it. You did your job. But if it isn't, if I'm telling you something that, changed it. However you want it, but change it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So instead of him coming in saying, okay, when you're talking about the mountains, you need to look to the mountains, right? And then and this faster, say this a little faster, and then take your time before you hit this beat. He didn't give me those kind. He just said, "This is what I saw you do," and I believed it.
Yeah.
This is what I think. This is what I believe when I see this from you. So if this is what you wanted, great. If it's not, no. So he's putting more emphasis on you, and what I found happened was, in my mind, I started thinking, oh, he trusts me. He trusts me. He's going to let me do it. Yes.
We trust you, respect you, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they do that, you get empowered.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Entonces you start working with more energy or more concentrated or whatever, or you make sure you do everything you need to do. You have to pull your weight now because he put his trust in you.
Yeah.
So now it's your responsibility to carry it.
That is awesome.
So him as a director, as in terms of actors, the individual I had the most fun working with was in that movie as well. Was in Roosters, and worked with Sonia Braga, we just developed such a cool relationship. Partly because our characters needed to have that relationship. We needed to be that. I was abracero, coming in, taking care of stuff. She was a woman whose husband is in jail, and she didn't see me as a love interest, but we had a sort of suffering connection kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm suffering because I'm not from here and I'm illegal and I have to do this. And she's suffering because her husband is... So we're in our emotional levels are kind of sort of in the same place. So to do that, we hang out together a lot, off set, right? And even on set.
Mm-hmm.
And even sometimes we give each other looks. Right? Because we have that sort of connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that sort of preparation beforehand translates on film.
That's amazing.
And,
very, very cool.
That, of course, the George Lopez show, man, working with him, working with Constance, working with Fran, working with John Michael,
That's
working
amazing.
with Rita, working with, I did an ER and my scene was with Clooney and working with Julia Roberts and Aaron Brockovich. And, it's just, the feeling that I get is, step it up, brother. These are them.
Oh, yeah.
These are the people you wanted to work with. Step it up.
Yeah. I heard they were doing a part 2 to Pretty Woman. I don't know if that's true or not.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard that.
You know what I heard they're doing a part 2? La Bamba.
Oh.
Or not a part 2, but a remake, actually.
Oh, a remake. Okay, I was going to say.
I think it's a remake.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very,
they
very
got
cool.
Valdez's blessing, I guess.
Are you going to try to get on there?
I don't know that there'd be a part I could do. I mean, at 61 years old. A little bit
of makeup here and there, brother.
Con el AI, todo el jale, hombre. No, I mean, I would love to. I would love to audition for the film if the opportunity came up.
Yeah.
But
I'll call my friends. You never know.
Go ahead, make some calls, Carla. Make some calls.
So I know you've been all over the place as far as roles. I know that in a previous conversation, you and I, you mentioned that you even played a shadow in a movie. What movie was that? And how was that? Was that your highest earning role there, or
it was. Hey, here's another thing. You remember how I just told you that B. Arthur actually came up to me and said, "Hi, Valente, how are you?" Okay.
Yes.
That person and this other person that I'm about to tell you are the only two, for lack of a better word, white people that know how to pronounce my name. Richard Gere.
Okay.
Because I'm playing the scene with Richard Gere. He's supposed to be in some sort of insane asylum. He plays the piano, right? And he comes down and they let him play the piano because it kind of keeps him calm. So they give him they let him play the piano. There's a scene where I come in, and my line is, "Mr. Jones, it's time to go to bed, Mr. Jones." Right? And and it's finished, and he comes up. Now I'm in the rest of the movie. You see my arm, you see my leg,
Okay.
because we're restraining people and stuff
Uh-huh.
like. But that's the only line I have. You never see my face.
Your face.
Never.
Not
just my
even when
arm.
you're holding people, just
No, you see this,
my
you see
God.
this, you see this, because the camera's over here. And what the director wanted was he wanted to see the person who's being held down. He wanted to see all the arms that were holding him down, but he didn't want to see the faces, the people that were holding him. So it could be anybody.
of course.
Could be the world that's keeping us down. That sort of
Right.
stuff, right? And so this one, the scene was the camera was behind me, looking at him, and the only thing you could see of me was my shadow on the ground. And you can kind of see the shadow, when I say Mr. Jones, and I
Yeah.
think I turn like this a little bit, you see the shadow, stuff like that.
It's
And so
awesome.
that's when I was a shadow and arms and legs, no face,
Wow.
no face.
Did you feel like you had to insure your arms for
There,
for that
there were a
role?
couple of times
I
that we
don't
did.
know.
There were a couple of times we had to do retakes because our faces got into the shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had some other stuff. There were other scenes where you did see the whole thing, but the ones I was in were the ones where all we saw was just arms and feet restraining people. The blue coats or the blue whatever.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but Richard Gere, when I met him, he said, "Hi, Valente, nice to be doing." He actually knew how to pronounce my name.
Wow.
Didn't say Valenti. Didn't say Valentine.
Yeah.
He didn't say Vincent. He didn't say Valiant. He said Valente.
Valente.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies, of course, as
Mhm.
well. So you're going back to LA, or what are your future here? Your short term?
I'm going back to LA tomorrow, as a matter of fact, but then I'm back in 3 days.
Okay.
I'm going to be in Brownsville, Create Art.
Okay.
Doing some stuff for them. I think they're having Lalo Alcaraz as well, the guy who does La Cucaracha comic thing in San Antonio,
Yeah.
and a couple of other people. It's an event about art and how you create, how we support each other, what it is we need to do, And then I'm doing comedy in Olmito in October.
Oh,
I'm
excellent.
doing a show in Olmito in October.
Okay.
And then I'm also...
Send us the flyer, please.
Oh,
and
I will.
We'll put it on here.
I will. I know also in
Yeah.
January I'm going to be at the island doing the bilingual education conference. Again, like I said, education.
Absolutely.
Anything I can do for that,
Yeah.
I'll do.
So one of the last questions I'll ask you, I
Mhm.
guess, is what advice do you give to some of the younger Latino actors
When
that,
I asked
they're trying to navigate, the film industry? So
when I asked Rita Moreno that question,
yeah,
she said, "It's about perseverance. You just have to keep going.
not giving up.
You got to keep going.
Consistency.
You have to persevere. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. You have to keep going." Now, that being said, if you haven't studied and you don't have the craft and you don't have the talent and you're not good looking, you don't got real beauty, like big time beauty, you might have a little bit of success, but you're not going to be able to make a career out of it, especially if you want to be an actor.
Right.
You really want to be an actor. Now, an influencer, a YouTuber, an individual who does interviews, all of that's cool. I'm not casting aspersions on that,
Yeah.
but that's not acting.
Correct.
It's not, here's a script, here's a character, show me that character and make me believe it, that you are that character. Okay.
Right.
If you want to do that, you're going to need training, you're going to need representation, you're going to need a little bit of luck to
Of
get to
course.
audition for the part that you can
course.
do, right? And you're going to need perseverance. Now, if you have those other three, eventually you're going to get a chance. You're going to get a chance. You will get a chance. You will. There's so much work, right?
There is so much work.
There is
right?
so much work. Now, it might take 5-10 years,
Yeah.
but you will get a chance. The more training you have, the sooner that chance is going to be. The sooner that chance is going to be. the key is not how do I get my first job. The key is how do I keep working? Because the minute you do your first job, you just showed your hand to everybody. Before you've worked, nobody knows who you are, what you can do. You could be the next Sir Laurence Olivier.
Right.
You could be, who knows?
Yeah.
You got to happen somewhere, right?
Yep.
But once you show them your acting and your skill, yeah, you already showed them what you can do. So you better have been good.
Yeah.
If you showed them sucky stuff, ya no va a trabajar.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to get another chance. Or it'll be another 2 or 3 years before you do get another chance.
I'm assuming it's just competitive, right?
It's big
like
time
many other
competitive.
fields,
When I did George Lopez, every Latino between the ages, every male Latino between the ages of probably something like 50 and 25 auditioned for the role of Ernie. There was no other role to audition for. The role
Wow.
of George Lopez is already taken.
Of
The only
course.
other male role is the little kid who's 8 years old.
Yeah.
So the only role that's open for males from the age of like 30 to 55-ish is Ernie. So everybody went to audition for that part. Again, I consider myself blessed.
No doubt.
Because there was a lot of people that went in for that one.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Very,
I
very
pinch
cool.
myself every now and then. Like,
Do you?
yeah. It's like, really? Is this really happening?
I mean, you have an extensive career. I mean, no doubt.
I do, but
know?
I still keep pushing, and maybe that's part of it. I guess I never feel satisfied with what I got.
Well, it's
In those terms, in the acting terms,
you have to keep eating, right? So
I do.
you never know what's going to come next, or when everything's going to finish or stop.
And I think that my best work is still to be done. I've seen the stuff I can do.
Yeah.
Now I think Ernie's really, really good, really
Of course,
good in terms
yeah.
of comedy.
Sure.
But I think I could do some really good drama.
How about a serial killer?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think I could do
good
something
movies.
serious, very, very, very good. And I've in a much larger part than just a supporting role, right? In a movie or something like that, which is something I haven't had an opportunity to do.
Son of Sam. Hey, he
Yeah.
was of Latino
Yeah,
nature.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only like that part on ER that my kid was dying of or whooping cough. They'd misdiagnosed him. They thought he had whooping cough, and that was a very serious scene where we were talking, about my kid dying and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But to be integrated into a script where you have 5 or 6 or 7 scenes where you actually have an arc and you're trying to get there and things get in your way and you see this character grow or fall or triumph or whatever, that and that still excites me. And that's why I still do this, what I do, because when I start reading the script and start characterizing it and splitting it up and looking for motivation and looking for arc and what's the conflict, what are my wants, I'll look up and 4.5 hours have passed
Wow.
because I'll be so concentrated on the thing.
Yeah.
And then and I'll get on the internet and like, oh, my character's supposed to have lupus. What the hell is lupus? Oh shit! Wow, what does lupus look like?
Yeah.
And I'll spend 2.5 hours tracking down lupus, right? And then
Some
I'll find
research.
something else I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be shooting a Glock. All right, what's a Glock? How do you shoot a Glock? You go,
Yeah.
and YouTube, you know this. You can learn anything on YouTube.
Well, you can, but you know what I noticed, because I'm a big fan of the Dateline murder
Right.
mystery shows. So if you Google how do you shoot a Glock,
Right.
and then let's say you kill someone, the cops are going to come and look at your
Yes, they
computer
will.
and say,
Yes,
"Hey,
they will.
you look, how do you shoot a
Yeah.
Glock?" Right?
Look at
So-
all this stuff we have. In
Yeah.
there. But I'm an actor, carnal, so
That's funny. There's so much more that we can talk about, but maybe we can bring you on again
another one.
if you have something else going on.
Next time we
Feel
need
free
to talk
come
about
by.
food, okay? And
Food.
fishing.
I'm a foodie. Yeah, for
Do
sure.
you fish? Do you go fishing?
I don't really fish, but we can. I mean, I have friends that
golf?
do. I golf, but I suck. So if you want to win, yeah, I'll go out there and look like a fool.
Okay, so I
don't care.
gamble, but I don't gamble for big money.
Ah,
I
okay.
gamble for 50 cents.
50 cents.
So per hole, it's 50 cents.
Oh,
So
yeah.
by the end of the day, if you lose everything, you lose $9.
Okay, I could do that.
So,
I could
or
do that.
dinner, o algo así, ¿verdad? I'll buy you
Yeah.
drinks, or you buy me dinner. Or,
Yeah,
I
no
don't,
doubt.
I don't. It's not $1,000 a hole or anything. Like that.
Yeah,
I don't.
no, I
That's
probably
not.
couldn't afford it. We're not making money on the show. Maybe one day we will, you know. But
Cuando le peguemos al lado.
oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Hey,
yeah.
somebody won the 1.8 billion. It
Did
was
they
two
really?
people. Yeah, two people won that.
What would you
big
do if
money.
you had that much money?
Well, you know, I'm not gonna say it here on the show, but it's funny because there's this was when the lotteries had started coming on, and it's on live TV. They interview this guy, you know, and again, I'm not gonna say it, but they say, hey, if you know, these are you can get hit by lightning and have a better chance at winning. So they ask him, hey, so what would you do? You know, and he says just something hilarious that I always joke about, but it is just funny, you know.
Right.
We try to keep it PG here, so
Right.
I won't say.
Right, yeah. No.
But it was just.
I think I
it's,
know what.
it's just so
Yeah.
funny. But I'm not that lucky, you know, like you. I need to work for the little that I have.
But you know what?
I love it.
Work keeps you busy, and the way to stay alive is to stay busy.
Stay busy.
The minute you stop moving, brother, that's just
Yeah.
the body sort of deteriorates.
Yeah, stay consistent with
Yeah.
what you're doing,
Just stay busy.
and
Even if it's out to go out and be in the garden, and, you know.
oh yeah,
go
which
out
I
and
love.
do the
I
garden
love being
together.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big stress relief for me,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
We can talk about that también. I love the garden.
Lo que sea.
Man, I had this crop of tomatoes this summer. Unbelievable. This little cherry. I planted 4 different types of cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
The purple
Which I
ones.
love cherry
They are-
tomatoes.
oh,
Yeah.
you can eat those like grapes.
Yeah. You can. They just
Crazy.
pop. They
Yep.
pop in your mouth. Yeah.
Next time, you know
I
what
like
we'll
that.
do next time? I'll make you a pizza
Pizza.
out on the barbecue.
I have a pizza oven.
And we'll no on
Yeah.
the barbecue
Oh, on the
outside.
barbecue.
Outside.
Well, that's what you do. It's outside.
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And then the topping is cherry tomatoes with balsamic vinegar.
Oh, that's like a margarita pizza, must have been.
Almost,
Okay.
but the balsamic vinegar gives us this
I like
tang
that.
that hits you right here, and then the sweetness of the tomatoes. Ooh.
Why don't you write a book, and then we'll bring you on about cooking, and we'll bring you on, and that could be
I would love to.
a whole hour and a half show.
I would
as
love
well.
to. I'd talk about cooking. You know, I'm a baker.
You are a
Bake.
baker.
Yeah.
Wow.
Zucchini bread and biscotti and apple bread and strudel and yeah. No.
I'm assuming you do a lot of that during Christmas, the holiday season.
You know what it is? I have 4 ovens
Okay.
in my house.
Wow.
One of them is outside, so I can go cook outside in the summer. So I don't have to have the oven on for 3.5 hours inside while the
Right.
turkey is doing or whatever.
Yeah.
I just go cook outside.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And there's a little thing that you feel as a man, I guess, cooking outside. It just makes you feel like, oh,
Doesn't it?
yeah, makes you feel good.
Starting a fire makes me want to go. "Rrr,
Oh yeah, yeah, no
yeah,
doubt.
I'm doing fire. Rrr, I'm a man. I'm doing fire.
That is funny. Valente, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know there's a lot more we could get into. Thank you for the lessons
You're
like
welcome.
that you just, taught a lot of people out there.
Mhm.
And hopefully they'll take some of your advice.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
some of mine.
Thank you, and
but-
thank you guys for watching. And we're gonna do some more. Don't worry about it. We will do more.
Yeah, no doubt. Very good, brother. All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
We'll see you
Muchas
again.
gracias.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining the show. And we will see you guys again next week.
Yeah, be safe. Everybody be safe out there.
Everybody
Take care
be
of
safe.
yourself.